Hey guys, we actually made her down to Dallas. We snuck her in here. My delivery point is actually right over here. My appointment's at 8:30. They said that I can enter the property at 5. And she said, and she's like, you gotta go someplace else. So where do I go? She's like, I don't know. And then we talked for a couple seconds, and then she got loosened up a little bit, and she goes, well, you know, I see trucks parked right over on the side of this road. Nobody bothers them, so I'm just parked right here. This building, this place is all closed. It has bars against the window. It's all locked up and closed. But, so I figured, you know what? I'm gonna get my APU working because it's gonna be hot tomorrow. This is the fuel pump, okay? And this is what I'm doing here is I'm repairing this right here on the sidewalk. And it mounts on the back side of here. There's a fuel line back here. You can push it up, you can see it. That hooks into the back side, and then this here goes up into the filter. And this pumps it, just pulls it out of the tank and pumps it in. What was leaking with this is, you can see it right here. On the back side of there, I don't know if you can see that or not. It's real hard to see. But there's like a little deal there, and it's got a little tiny hole in the center of it, and it was screwed on here tight like this, and this is where they thought it was leaking. So, but it was actually coming out from right here, coming down. And when I took it in there and showed the mechanics in there, and I showed them that little hole, and I told them, I said, as soon as I loosened that up, I mean, it just poured out of there. The mechanics are like, we have never seen one leak there. They said a lot of times you see one leak around the edge or something like this, this case right here cracks. And I said, well, what does that, is that from like when it freezes or something? You get water in there or something, it freezes in the winter? He said, yeah, that happens. Because I've never seen one leak there. And he started looking at it, and he was like, you know, I bet you that's what it's supposed to do. Because I bet you that's supposed to blow out if it gets too high a pressure or gets water in there and it freezes. I said, yeah, that's what I thinking too it was. So we got all the fittings off and put onto the new one, and I got everything all gooped up and everything, so she has no leaks and everything. And then this is also the pre-filter, and I actually pulled this apart and cleaned it at a truck stop. It was like all black, and there was fuel in there, and the fuel was like, it was all full of algae, which kind of concerns me. Because if it's full of algae, that means it's coming out of the tank. That means the tank has got algae in it. And that's not good for a truck. They actually have some treatment for that, and I'm gonna talk to the boss and pick up some of that and dump some treatment in here for algae. It happens in trucks. Sometimes truck stops in their tanks underground and stuff, they get algae in there, and then it gets into your trucks, and it can cause all kinds of problems. So it definitely had algae in here, so I cleaned all this out. It was just a metal deal. And I actually asked for, when I was in there, I talked to the guy and I showed the mechanic, and I said, boy, that's got algae in it. And he's like, yeah, it definitely does. And he said, yeah, it needs to be cleaned. And I said, well, that O-ring, will that have to be replaced? And he said, I said, you know, if it takes that apart, will it have to be replaced? He said, yeah. He said, definitely replace it. So he walked in the back and just gave me a new one. So we're gonna pop this puppy in. It's a little tricky fitting everything in here. There we go. And you can see this one. This one here has it's like a white one in there, probably discolored. The other one was probably yellow, discolored from the diesel. But it actually has, you're not gonna be able to see it, but it has like a little detent in the side of it. And then right in the middle of it, I think that's for, I think that's made so that that's a weak point, so that if something does blow, it's that. I think that's gonna be it right there. Now there is a screw back here. It's way back in there. It's a booger. It is a booger. But it is a booger to get in here, boy. it goes. Brought this extension with this swivel on it. So that's the only way you can get in there. Let's see if we can hang on to her and get her started. Yep, there we go. Then we just push our little electrical clip in here that runs the pump, I'm guessing. Just like so. Had a zip tie on there. I guess I could put another zip tie on there. There we go. Now we just connect this fuel line back on. Now we can pull these fuel lines back up and put them on. Alright, our fuel lines, we put this here tape to mark them, and the tape went on the outside one. This is the little sheath that was around it. I just brought it with me. Guess we could pull that tape off. Just like so. Zip ties on here to tighten it up, tidy it up. There we go. Sounds like a pack of pit bulls running around here. Check the oil, that's good. Turn it on, let's try it out. You can see it pumping fuel into that pre-filter. up. Come on, baby. It's trying. There it goes. All right, we are all sealed up. I just ran her for about 15 minutes. I've been watching it the whole time, watching for fuel leaks and everything. Everything is perfect. So we're gonna button her up. I lost a little nut that goes on here. I can't remember what I did with it. So that bolt's gonna have to stay out. When I get home, I'll pop this cover off, put a new nut behind there. Not a big deal. That's a beautiful sound right there, boys and girls. It's blowing real nice cold air in there. I can run the truck, so it isn't like I haven't been without air. But I just hate running a truck. I mean, you're using a gallon an hour with the truck running, and you're using like a gallon for 10 hours with that running. So, got my hands all dirty. So I'm gonna use some body wash, hair and body wash. Bottle of water, clean up. Hello, good morning. Well, as you saw just now, I got my APU repaired last night. I did it on the side of a street where I parked, and it took me a total of about 45 minutes to get that all working. And I ran her all night long out there and went out and checked it before I took off, and not a spot of fuel anywhere. Yippee! So we got ourselves an APU, a working APU. Stayed nice and cool all night long. No triangles, nothing else. Everything was working properly. There we go. I am actually checked into this receiver. As you can see here, they actually do a lot of flatbed work here. I think it's I think that it is wood and stuff, and they're surrounded by train cars here. You gotta go down through this little driveway that goes across the train tracks, and the guy on the other side, he's like, this guy that works in a warehouse on the other side. I was trying to ask directions, and there was a container guy over there, and he was with me, and I was kind of asking, and he was just kind of hanging out his truck, and then he was waiting for me to tell him where to go, I guess. Boy, look at how that thing is going. And the guy on the other side of the warehouse on the other side, he's like, yeah, you gotta go back on the other side. He goes, but you're gonna get stuck going across some train tracks. He goes, you can't drive that truck back there. I was like, is there other trucks back there? Well, yes, but you can't drive back there. You got reefer, you can't. I don't know what that makes us get stuck, but well, we made her back here and checked in, and we are getting unloaded. So good to go. So I am just waiting for pickup information. I just texted Bosch and said, hey, I'm getting unloaded. Got 2 hours and should be good to go. and he texted me back. He said, I'll send you pickup information in a bit. I am picking up the same load that I picked up last week. So you guys are going to get to retrace my steps. So I didn't video last week. Well, you're getting it this week. I just woke up. My mind's going back. I am actually picking up at Russellville, Arkansas, and that is going to be going up to Manchester. It's an Americold, I believe that was. So that'll be my load going back up, and then if things are going the same, and I guess, he said I'd be kind of maybe doing this circle, then I guess I'll be picking up a Shawano load or something like that, and heading back to Wisconsin. We'll see what happens. I don't know why I'm sitting here running my truck when I have a working APU. And there we go. That's the sweet, sweet goodness of cool air. One APU repaired. Yippee. It's needed too. I can't turn my key on to tell you what temperature it is, but let me tell you, it's hot. I'm in Texas. It's hot.